Greetings, everybody, and welcome to episode 41 of the Sickcast, aka the Siblings in Cardboard podcast. I'm your host, Donnie, joined by my buddies / co-hosts, Noah and Thomas. Whether you're a veteran card gamer or a first-timer just testing the waters, we are all Siblings in Cardboard. Gentlemen, how was your weekend?
I was at Nats. It was great.
I'm kidnapped.
Oh, I bet you had a lot of fun.
But not really.
It looks like you kidnapped, man. I mean, I'm seeing
Yeah.
the same stuff that's
He's
over my
locked in a
head,
basement
but
or something.
I am locked in a
Yeah.
basement. Please help me.
taxidermied fish on the wall. Is that a bow?
It's
Anyway, looking a little too
Is
hard.
that cotton candy in the ceiling?
it is.
Gotta be.
So, yeah, I'm a little tired, but I'm less tired than I was from when I did Pro Tour. I think I slept a little bit better. I think I went a little less hard in the paint, but I'm still kind of recovering. Minneapolis was beautiful, though. Like, I actually really enjoyed that
What's in
city
Minneapolis
a lot.
other than Nats?
There's the Mall of America, which I didn't have time to go to because I didn't get there until Thursday. But it was just like a really pleasant city to walk around in, and there are lots of restaurants and like things to do like that. It's just within walking distance. So I only traveled like maybe a mile away from the convention center while I was there, but it was really pleasant. I liked it a lot, and the weather was nice. So
Can't take good weather
Always
for
makes for a
granted.
good trip.
yeah, it was basically,
definitely
it felt like I was in Georgia because it was a little humid, except it was 10 degrees cooler. So
Oh, nice.
had nothing to dislike.
And on top of that, great games all weekend.
Yeah.
What about you,
wore
Noah? What
my-
was you up to all week?
Well, I was just gonna say I wore
Sorry.
my Shrek hat all weekend. Go ahead, Noah.
Ooh, nice.
And we didn't get to see it. You won't wear it on the podcast, but you wear it in person. I don't like it. No.
Yeah, I was representing Riptide.
We'll get to that too. You had a good start. I didn't catch where you ended up at, which we're gonna get the whole disclosure. I was chilling on Friday. Saturday I was at a Braves game, hanging out with an Army buddy that was in town. Not much flesh and blood other than buying it. Obviously, there's been some announcements. There's been a lot of fluctuation. Some of us are right.
lots to talk
Some
about.
of us have always been right. Some of us, some of us need an apology in here for a certain card. But we're gonna get there. We're gonna get to that. It's okay. I know I'm that good at what I do. It's okay. But a lot of market speculations. I actually put out a Twitter post. I'm waiting for my stuff to come in. I'm gonna have to do like a mail-in open-a-thon. I'm gonna have a literal emporium. Like I have enough unopened product now. I have too much unopened.
Buy some
product for
Runeblade
what I
stuff.
bought.
I want to make Florian.
No, don't buy Runeblade stuff right now.
I
It's a
already
little
got
too
it.
late.
We're
Should have
good.
bought it last week.
We're good. We're
Cool.
good. I went and hit all the creepers, all the. I had it all. I had it all set.
Seems good.
I was on top of it.
Seems
so.
real good. But I guess me and Thomas are never going to live that one down. I guess.
If we're talking about Poison the Well, I still don't think it's good.
Yeah.
Don't worry about how good it is. It's how right I am. That's all that matters. There's a method to the madness,
Okay.
and that's what matters.
Okay. If you say so. Ooh, I just realized
I
I
am a
gotta
little
drink that. I
upset.
didn't drink that.
I am a little upset though that I caught on just slightly too late. I pretty much learned what everybody else did. Now I'm usually one that pulls the trigger right away, but after that podcast, where I was like, I'm gonna buy binders of them. I literally did get sidetracked. Had I bought binders of them, no. Yeah, but I still
you
got
did?
got quite a few. I did pick up quite a few before the storm.
Wait, are you going to talk about Poison the Well in your market
All right.
minute?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Then we'll save it, but that's hilarious. Okay,
Absolutely, guys.
Dude.
Welcome to the Poison the Well meta. It's here. It's real.
No, it ain't. It ain't here yet.
Dude.
It's
Don't worry
coming
about
after
it.
Tampa. But anyway, we'll get to that. As far as Flesh and Blood goes, I didn't do anything all week. I've been covered up with work and with school and all the other usual stuff that I have to deal with. I don't think I got in a single game. And we are recording on Tuesday night, so I don't even get to talk about what I would have done tonight because here we are, making sure that we get this content out.
Just make it up. You went You went
It'd
how
be
many rounds?
alright.
Three and one. You went three and
watched-
one. You
well,
crushed.
As long as you actually
Sure, I'll make
watched
it up.
Nats, so you probably saw more Nats
yeah.
than I saw of
There you
Nats, to be
go.
honest.
You got
I
Nats.
did
I
see a
saw
lot of
Nats
flesh.
from
I
my
watched a lot of
perspective.
Flesh and Blood over the week.
Watching's the same
I was in
as
the live
playing.
stream. I was in the live stream, so that counts, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was rooting for Willie B. I was
Me too.
sending him all of my energy, and that's probably what screwed him up because my energy is no good, not good whatsoever.
We could talk about it more later, but he had a path to win, and he got nervous and missed it.
Okay, we'll get to it. But yeah, that's all this that I've done is just watch Nats and work and all this other stuff. Let's see, what was it? Oh, wait, that's right. I didn't do anything in Flesh and Blood because I was on a work trip last week. That's why I wasn't here. And now I'm back. And now I feel a whole lot better because I get to talk to two of my buddies about something that I love.
I'm going to
yay.
make you feel even better. We have three different
Ooh.
aspects of the Flesh and Blood world. Somebody who played it, somebody who watched it, somebody who buys it. Aha.
Now
Look at that. That's the
The Holy
triangle.
Trinity.
That's the triangle that does
feel
the
like
Illuminati.
that's been our chemistry for at least a month or two, right? Y'all have been busy.
Don't sell it. Don't sell it
yeah,
down.
yeah, a little bit.
But that's
all right. I mean, I honestly think, Thomas, you are the best player on the podcast by a wide margin.
I
So
appreciate that.
it works out. It works out. Yeah, that's all I got. Noah, you ready to start talking about actual
yeah.
pricing and the insanity that has hit the
so,
market
hold
thanks
on.
to
I
Nats?
just want to preface this. When we first started recording, we saw like price spikes and stuff happen a lot, but nothing like we see now. I think the game has reached this like popularity level that has exceeded anything we've seen in a while. I think Heavy Hitters was so well received, and then the Mistveil was just so highly noted and pushed that like I think the game's at a point where it's never been before.
So I'll take a stab at that real quick.
I mean, yeah.
I want to talk about some of the market too when I do the streaming stuff, a little bit about, the ebb and flow of it. But I think it is. I think the game's getting more popular, and I think people are actually realizing that it's a competitive game, right? So the game has this really big draw with the hero identity and like you kind of like assimilating with your deck, right? But it's also really good when your deck is also at the top of the meta. So it's a double win, right? So you have people who are assimilating with these well-drawn, wonderfully received new heroes, and then you also have these heroes actually being meta viable. And so that really creates this sort of buzz. Not to mention that the Flesh and Blood world is really big on the jump on it, right? I mean, like we could just look at Marvel Rock, for instance. Like it was so semi like crudely hinted at, and it shot up through the roof. Like it's what the game is. And so since to be meta is to be good, and to be good is to actually play Flesh and Blood at a competitive level, it's a competitive game. Let's be real. It kind of goes hand in hand. And so I definitely want to open up cards and talk about it more, but I don't want to waste a bunch of time. But yes, we are going to get into prices. There are some really silly things that probably should not be as high as they are. The biggest one, by the way, and I won't talk about it, was CMH. CMH shot up to $20, I think, after the announcement. It went right back down to about $7. So don't get like I think. Trust me, there's going to be some cards. You got to understand too, people have been sitting on CMHs for a long time going Tails is dead. And so once the spike happened, people were trying to get in on it. So it's going to take a real big reveal to kind of shoot that card up again. But we'll get into
Personally,
it.
I hope CMH is not the card in Florian.
Me either. I actually don't want to see a CMH.
It probably will be, but I hope it's not.
Earth Rune
Maybe
Blade,
not in Florian. Aurora seems like.
We'll get to it. Before we do move on, there was one thing that I did want to shout out: the Realm Invitational Qualifier. I mean, you told me to put a spot right there at the "What's Up, What's New" section that we do every week.
So, that's gonna be.
What we got?
That's like 2 months from now, like on the dot now. So I'm gonna be pushing it. I'm gonna be jumping to the store and get the promo material and stuff ready. Start hitting up all my contacts again, being, hey, are you still committed to this? And get the page live and let people start going ahead and pay for their entry fee and get an idea how many people are going to show up. And then we could fully lock in pricing. But I expect it to have a good turnout. I want it to be like a twice a year feature that we do to just bring even more flesh and blood to the Atlanta and Georgia area and Southeast area, and also help promote something really cool, which is a major annual event for Flesh and Blood that's outside of the Legend Story Studios OP circuit. One of the best ways to make a game a forever game is to have competitive circuits outside of the vendor supported circuit.
Grassroots tournaments.
Right.
I mean that's.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was was the thing, but it was definitely one of the biggest draws for me in competitive Magic was the Star City Games tour and all of the Star City Games events that were going on in the Southeast however many years ago. That was by far my favorite way to play Magic the Gathering. If we can get something like that started for Flesh and Blood, I will be the happiest camper in the entire Southeast.
Yeah, and it takes people in the various locales to take a little bit of initiative to do it. And Realm makes it really simple to do. It's like a really low entry cost, and then you just have to front the pricing. Our store didn't want to do it, unfortunately, but I don't think the pricing's that hard that you can't get a few individuals to come together to do the pricing, because you should cut even. Yeah, we have the Master of Disaster here, like waving his hand because he's going to make. I think he'll make pricing actually pretty straightforward.
I was about to say we're going to know base pricing a month before. I will have it finalized.
We know for sure a minimum $500 prize payout along 100%. With the invitationals, and we want to try to push it up to $1,000 prize payout.
I'm going to do everything in my power to get as much bang for a buck for 500. We'll know about a month out what that'll look like. As we get more, if we get more invites and we get to push the envelope, there will be more. I've acquired some skirmish sets, some sealed skirmish sets, so I actually have promos and sealed skirmish pricing and skirmish mats. So I've got some cool things.
Whoa.
Not
skirmish?
Not that skirmish mat. I know it's old. It's old.
Yeah,
trust me. If I had
I
it,
got my hopes up for a second.
I promise I got you if I get it. I promise. We're not there yet though. I think skirmish season is coming up.
I need that mat so bad.
We'll get it. We'll figure it out. But I will take care of pricing. I'll make sure I hold some product aside. I don't open up everything. I will have some definitely some stuff on the side, and I'll be working to get as much profitable pricing as I can to make it really exciting for both raffle and for both top 8. We'll make sure we're doing everything right. We'll poll it if we need to figure out the best way to. We'll put it in your guys' hands.
Sweet.
But let's move on to the market minute. I don't take up too much time. We got a lot to talk about. We're gonna get right into it. So this card should be on everybody's radar. It started pretty high. It kind of lost a little popularity. I was told to pick this card up, and I didn't. I think it's going to only get higher. Weakest Link. I think it's an amazing card. I mean, it's a block 3. Its effect is great. It's essentially a CNC, but for the hand. If you think about it, against some of these decks. Okay, yes. I see. It just
okay. You clarified. Very certain decks.
Very certain decks, right?
Notably,
it's not your universe. It's not your universal CNC. That's why I said it's kind of like it. It only carries a $13 price tag. It's definitely not CNC, but $13 is high. It's about double what it's been sitting at. It's about 6-7 range. Definitely trending upwards. It's a card I wanted to focus on because it's not really subject to this crazy new hero speculation. Although we are going to talk about some of those cards, I wanted to mix in some cards that are actually meta relevant. I think Weakest Link, like Amisha, is meta relevant. And so those cards should constantly be on your radar right now. Just know they're going to fluctuate out when the meta just doesn't serve them. So, you take that as is.
I really appreciate that, because everything that I've seen on YouTube since Nats ended has been nothing but speculation on the announcement that was made at the end of the Nats. There has been very, very little discussion about the actual tournament and the results that happen and what the metagame is going to look like. So the speculation, I'm here for that, because I'm not seeing it anywhere else. Everybody just wants to talk about Rosetta. Nobody wants to talk about the metagame from US Nats.
It's all Zen.
Yeah. Zen was very dominant. We're going to talk about it. We're in a I don't want to say a red deck wins, but it feels like red deck wins.
Well,
But
it's more combo deck wins because what's the other combo deck that did really well, even though it didn't top 8?
Yeah.
Kano.
Right. That's agreeable. I think it has a very clear path to victory. It's very mid-range combo. It's very consistent, right? You're not sitting there blocking your hand like Bolton combo all the way down to 3 cards.
Well, just think about the interaction here. How does Kano's combo work? He strips himself of all of his gear, it gives him a bunch of a card advantage, and then he blows you up.
And the same thing that Zen does.
Yep.
In a nutshell, yeah. Weakest link, just for those who are on listening only, is a red, costs 2, so it pitches for 1, 6 attack, 3 block. When this hits a hero, look at their hand and choose a card without base block. If you do, they discard that card and you draw a card. Feels pretty good. Again, certain decks that is $13.24. I expect this card to continue to rise as the meta heroes it's targeting aren't going anywhere or slowing down. Unfortunately, the next 3 cards I wanted to touch on are very speculation driven. One of them probably should have been on everybody's radar. I was dead serious when I said you should probably buy 500 of these. That's Kindle. I wasn't joking. Kindle can only be a good card. It's an expansion slot. It's absolutely unique. It has amp. Like it's one of those things where it fits such a purpose that there's no way they don't make something good for it. Kindle is currently sitting at $10. So it jumped 1,000% because it was a $1 card. I'm pretty sure that's how that math works.
I don't understand why it was ever $1.
Me neither. I really don't. It's one of those cards. I told you guys about it too, and that was still way back at $1. Like, I wasn't joking. It's up there. I would probably start. If you did get it in a good time, it feels pretty good to dump, but it could definitely rise. It really just depends on how the new hero fleshes out. Kindle is a red wizard instant that has amp 1. That's the next time you would deal arcane damage this turn. Instead, deal that much +1. It happens before prevention effects, and it also says if you have no cards in hand, draw a card.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane card. The way it combos with Cinder and Foresight, which does something similar just with Opt. It's just your ability to go off as Kano. It just increased by like a whole turn. Like he wins the game a whole turn faster now, which is really significant. He's got a lot of flexibility to fix bricks now because of the way Kindle interacts with the hand and the deck. Just crazy card.
It is a really good card.
I mean, yeah, I think part of the issue with Kindle is that it came out in Misfail. And the fact that the heroes from the set and all of the mystic stuff, all the other mystic majestics, just kind of overshadowed it a little bit. That's what I think actually happened with that. I mean, yes, it's an expansion slot card, but it doesn't have the same level of demand as the other things that came out with the set.
I win both my games that I played against Kano this weekend without the Kindle setup. So
yeah,
it's good. It's really, really good.
Kano's never been a hero, right, on, I would say, mass radar. It is for those that actually actively play around it. What I'm talking about is playing Kano, right? Isn't on everybody's mind.
There were 29 of them, I think, at Nats. It's crazy. Okay. There's so many. There were so many.
That is a lot of Kanos. That is quite a few.
All of the top 5 heroes had 50+.
Wasn't he 6th?
But speaking of the fact that Kano's usually that boogeyman that comes in at like 5 or 6 and somehow still gets to top 8, it is quite a big deal that it was so heavily represented, in my opinion. That's a lot of Kanos. That means that there's a lot of people trying to sidestep the meta, in my opinion, and just say, okay, you can do that, I'm going to do it too, and just in my way. But yeah, Kindle's a real card. This card, I think, this next card is totally warranted in going up. It was probably it shot up instantly upon announcing, and it's no mistake why. It has Dietic Carapace. It's probably going to be the quintessential Runeblade piece. You're in an all sort of runechant and wizard meta now, and you're bringing out Runeblades, who are going to do a mixture of probably attack actions. I mean, at least on paper. and some kind of arcane damage. And so to have a piece that blocks 2 and has arcane barrier 2, you kind of feel really good. I think it's a great chess piece. There's absolutely no way it doesn't continue to rise if it becomes the chess piece that these rune blades use. So it is at $42, which it was at $16. It jumped instantly. Mm-hmm.
Man, I actually did a good thing. I got this for like $12.
Yep. No.
Nice.
I've been slowly assimilating these for a while, thinking this chess piece is way too good.
The chess piece is cracked. Like, it's very strong.
Runeblade has some of the best cards in the game. It's just, for some reason, they have not been. I don't know. They haven't really been in the spot in quite a while. That doesn't change how inherently powerful most of their card pool is. It's just the hero power isn't broken, I guess. I mean, without Chain, without Briar.
I don't understand how Viserai isn't good. I read all his stuff on paper and I'm like, God, this here's broken. And then he just doesn't perform how you'd expect. But
I mean, I guess it's got to be
not surprised.
That's hurt
not
him
surprised
so,
coming up to a Runeblade Wizard set that Diadic didn't triple in price. Like, that's not surprising at all.
And on the same token, and then we'll go into what Diadic does is Grasp. I've been talking about that card for God knows how long. You guys know it. I've been telling you, get your Grasp. They're $35.
Good.
Get your Grasp. They're $40. They're $90 now. So did you get your Grasp?
No.
Because I hope you did. Because that's what I'm telling you. Like, I say this stuff for you guys, because I'll
just borrow it from you.
It's only a matter of time before this stuff goes up. I'm serious.
I'm not playing those classes anyway. I have one class. I have one hero.
I know. It's Verdance.
Vexing
I saw her too, and trust me.
God, Verdance is so cute.
Yep.
She is. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
we're gonna. It hurts my soul, man. It hurts my soul because I married a redhead. There's just something about redheads, man, and that art is beautiful. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Right, the
Marvel hero art and the Heartbeat of Candlehold art.
Freaking beautiful.
Might be time. Might be time. There's going to be a lot of Essence of Earth too, so I already know Dory's going to be dead. Might be time to just go ahead and make a little swapperoo while it's hot. Might be time. Yes,
we'll see.
Yes,
we'll
Nathan.
See.
I too am a Runeblade now. Yes. I've been waiting my whole life.
I'll believe it when I see it. When you like actually shelve Warrior and pick up a new class, I'll believe it.
Azalea's coming armories.
Verdance is a wizard, isn't she?
No, she's a Runeblade.
No, Florian's the Earth Runeblade.
Oh, never mind.
Verdance is the Earth Wizard.
Whatever, done it. Sorry, Nathan. Hey, hello, Justin. Justin, I'm a wizard.
Justin's also a Runeblade player.
We'll be siblings in Runeblades. And anyway. Siblings in Arcane. Anyway,
okay.
Diadic Carapace is a Runeblade chest, 2-block temper, meaning it blocks once for 2, then it goes down to 1. It has Arcane Barrier too. Absolutely bonkers. It has an extended art. The extended art is absolutely gorgeous.
Too.
They both went up. Now the last card. Everybody laughed at me. Said I was real foolish. Just like bingo. I'm already buying binders full of bingo. Nobody can stop me. Poison the Well, Dusk Till Dawn, $8. I'm the best. I told you guys, it's only a matter of time before they bring out some.
You should sell them before they fall in value because they're useless.
Life gain, not my flesh and blood. Here's the counter. They've been making this card good for years. It just wasn't good until they brought the heroes out. Thank you, LSS. I'm right again. That's my spiel.
What does Poison the Well do again?
I'll read it out for you. Unless you read it.
I got it up. Poison the Well is a generic instant. Blue. So it pitches for 3. Cost 0. It has no block because you don't need it where you're going. The next time a hero would gain life this turn, they instead lose that much life. Boom.
So let's look at what we've seen just so far. It doesn't counter Germinate. We'll talk about what it does, but it doesn't counter it. Like, you still get the main reason you're playing it. You might kill him Sure, you might kill Florian. Sure, you got him. It doesn't counter Heartbeat of Candlehold at all because she gains life in 3 separate instances.
That it's for Germinate because it's an X. But we'll get there. They don't want people Spike X gaining like 9, like gain 9. Nobody needs that.
By the way,
now lose 9.
Hold on. Okay, let's just go ahead and talk about Germinate because now you got me thinking about, like, you remember recently they said Scalata never, ever, ever coming back. This is why.
Yeah.
So Germinate's the new card Florian specialization that got announced at Nats on Sunday. Create a rune chant or embodiment of Earth token. Repeat this process X more times. Gain X plus 1 life. Double X. Could you imagine this card with Scalata? So
maybe we won't have to because that is going to be legal in LL. So.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yep.
So Scalata just says effectively double your rune chance and gain that much life. Or can you? Okay, so I'm gonna make 10 embodiment of Earth tokens pass.
Good luck.
Oh man, that's wild. And also Florian's hero text, doesn't it read something kind of crazy too? If there are 4 more Earth cards in your banished zone, Florian gets, if you would create 1 or more aura tokens, instead create that many plus 1 of each of those tokens. Wait, you gain them 1 at a time. So his hero power doubles up on Germinate.
Mordred Tide.
And Mordred Tide. But dude, think about in Living Legend. Is Florian going to be the first hero that ever releases? I heard someone mention something that maybe the young hero text is different from the old hero text. I don't know how true that is.
Somebody mentioned
but with the way Florian reads now, I feel like this could potentially be a hero that on release is playable in Living Legend.
Could be. I mean, between Channel Mount Heroic and Scaletta,
can you imagine?
That's a lot.
You're playing Florian. You have 4 Earth cards in your banished zone. You play Mordred Tide. You break Scalata. You play Germinate for like X = 10. You make like
Ooh.
You make like 30 rune chants and gain 10 life and be like, see you next turn.
I told you.
I mean, I hope you got a Zen state. That's all I got.
That's why the 12 pedal makes the Zen state token to counter this.
Ooh.
And
Man.
that's why Poison the Well was printed.
It's possible.
That's true. He just busts the Scalata, tries to gain 10 or 11 life, and you go, you mean lose 11 life? Oh, I'm dead.
Yep.
Sure.
Good game.
It'll be now people are going to have to run Snag for New and Poison the Well for Florian. They're just going to increase the deck size
Nobody
to
has
90.
to run Snag. Nobody has to run Snag. No, you can forget about that card.
Snag's real.
It's not real.
It's real. $13.
Snag's not real. It can't hurt
Did you have
me.
any other notable market comments?
That's what we're going to do because I want to make sure that we get enough time. We got plenty of stuff to cover.
Okay, let's just jump into the rest of the spoilers that we got. So the remaining Earth card is Channel the Millennium Tree, which looks to be kind of like the key art / icon-y thing going on that I've seen a lot of, is this nice little tree. Especially on the Earth cards, right? I'd expect they're only on the Earth cards. We'll get something different for the Lightning cards. Channel Millennium Tree, 3 cost, 3 block, red. Go again. When this enters the arena and at the beginning of your action phase, amp 3. That sounds wild already. At the beginning of your end phase, put a flow counter on this, then destroy it unless you put an Earth card from your pitch zone on the bottom of your deck for each flow counter on it. It's set as an Earth action. And that's because amp can apply to rune chants. You can make like one big chunky boy rune chant. By having amp 3, it'll make the rune chant hit for 4. Seems pretty good.
Yep. Yeah. Arcane at a breakpoint. Yeah, sure. We'll take that.
And then we have Felling the Crown. It is a Earth action attack. Costs 3, blocks for 3, also red. If there are 4 more Earth cards in your banished zone, this gets +4. It has a new keyword called Decompose. When this attacks, you may banish 2 earth cards and an action card from your graveyard. If you do, each hero puts a card from their hand on the bottom of their deck. This seems really strong. It is a 3 for 8 with hand disruption.
Yeah, so you just finish with it, and you pretty much strip a card from your opponent who's trying to block it.
Florian Screams.
Are they ever going to be able to reprint Oldham?
Yeah, I just don't think Ice is going to be this set. I think it'll be next set, or maybe they'll say, "Hey, no surprise, we are doing Ice." Maybe we get a Earth Wizard, a Earth Runeblade. We get a couple Runeblades. Maybe we get a Guardian. I doubt it. It really seems like this is what we're getting.
No, it's just a Wizard and Runeblade set.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, with something like this, Oldham just got that much scarier when he comes back.
What if they put him in? They say, "Oh, Ice is already a really complete kit. We'll just add a new Oldham hero as an expansion card." They could do it that way too, or they could do this like First Strike set, or these Armory decks. They could use those to inject heroes back into the meta without a full set. They give them new cards in their base too by introducing them through these decks, and obviously sell really well, right?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You sure would. They would sell.
Florian screams Levia without blood debt to me.
Based on the art?
No, the banish zone interaction. You build up enough stuff in your banish zone, you just start doing these really powerful things with your cards. It's pretty exciting.
If it's true that the adult version is going to be different in some kind of way from the young version, this feels like the perfect opportunity in the next set, which I don't know if we've actually said it. The next set was announced. It's going to be named Rosetta. When this comes out, maybe we get druids. Maybe Florian, the adult version, is a druid and not a Runeblade.
He somehow overcomes the Runeblood, because he looks like he's not like Briar who gets access to runes in a different way. He kind of looks death related. And
maybe Necromancer?
Yeah, I don't know. You're right. He could be, there could be some evolution of his hero that they don't want to be in the limited portion, but they want to inject him into the classic constructed meta. And it could be that
maybe they didn't want to do that to Blitz.
It also could be that they don't want this Florian hero text to be available in classic constructed, because it seems kind of wild.
Yeah, that seems kind of crazy.
All right, our next hero is Verdant, but we only got her art. We have no idea what she does. She's cute.
Yeah, Verdance and the Ocilio, the 2 wizards, we are not going to get their hero text box until Pro Tour Amsterdam, but we are going to be getting the same kind of announcement at the end of Pro Tour Amsterdam, or during Pro Tour Amsterdam at some point.
Right. So
all we know is how pretty they are.
Yeah, but we did get a specialization for Verdance. 1 cost, 3 block, blue. Verdant specialization. Gain 1 life, period. Gain 1 life, period. Gain 1 life, period. Go again. I guess there's going to be a way that she amps life gain.
Or the speculation that I've been seeing is that she somehow does arcane damage or does something else whenever she gains life. That's what we're assuming the hero power is related to right now.
But why would they?
And then because this triggers 3 different times.
Yeah, why would they trigger it 3 different times? Unless it's like every time you gain life, do something instead of gain as much life as you would gain.
That's what we're thinking.
No, that's what he's saying, and it probably is. It's also, she might just have a lot of life gain, and it's a way to bait out the it's a way to bait out that poison as well.
Watch her. They showed her like Marvel art. It looks really good, but the Marvel art doesn't have like the health total or anything, right? So we don't even know what her health total is. Watch it be something silly like 12.
Oh, that would be crazy.
Right, because she just has so much life gain that you're like, okay, gotta burst her down on like turn 0 or lose. The last hero that we got any information on, we got the full hero power for Aurora. She is the elemental runeblade hero with the essence of lightning. Once per turn,
cool.
instant, pay 2, create an embodiment of lightning token. Activate this only if you've played a lightning card this turn. I was pretty nonplussed about this one. I like her art a lot. I think she's really cool looking. She's got that cool like water looking blade, like Final Fantasy X looking blade. However, this just seems like half of Briar's hero power, but worse. Because Briar's hero power says the second time you play a non-attack action in a turn, you could make an embodiment of lightning token. And the way this reads, you still have to play a lightning action or a lightning card, and then you have to pitch 2 resources. So you have to pitch a card. So it's still costing you 2 cards to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Brian has been on record. Brian or James One has been on record saying that they are scared of giving Runeblades too much because Runeblades is, right there on the edge of just completely broken. So, yeah, the fact that it costs 2 is probably going to be a little bit awkward.
So then we also got the 1 lightning card, Channel Lightning Valley. The first time you deal damage to an opposing hero each turn, draw a card. Channel Lightning at the beginning of your end phase, put a flow counter on this, then destroy it unless you put a lightning card from your pitch zone on the bottom of your deck for each flow counter on it. Notably, this is an instant, so you could play it at the end of someone's turn or in the middle of someone's turn and hit them with some kind of instant damage, including if you are a lightning wizard, and draw a card on both your opponent's turn and your turn. This seems good. This seems like a good card. This says draw 2 cards in a turn cycle and do it again 1 more time at least, because all you have to do is pitch 1 lightning card.
Yep.
This card seems cracked. If there's a way for lightning for Aurora to do lightning damage on the opponent's turn, I think Aurora's hero power costing 2 and needing a card played before it is perfectly justified. Absolutely perfectly justified. This card alone is like potentially wild, right? 2 to 3 turns of like an extra card. And 2 extra cards in a turn cycle is very, very, very strong. I'm excited to see what the Lightning Wizard's going to be like.
Shock Charmers are real.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
Just so everybody's aware. Get your Shock Charmers. Do it fast.
I know a friend of the podcast, Justin, has already decided he's an Ocilio main for the rest of his life. So the Lightning Wizard is what's got him excited. I mean, I haven't really seen people hyping up Aurora too much. I mean, I've seen more for Florian than I have for any of the others.
I think with the current card base,
that's not quite true.
With
burdens.
Sorry. I think with the current card base that we have, there's not too much to be hyped about. Right?
How do you mean?
I don't think the current
is
card base says
fleshed out.
Yeah, she's not fleshed out. She needs more cards. Like, we can already see what Florian can do with some of the Value Town, and then he got 2 cards, right? He got Felling the Crown and Germinate that like really show kind of maybe what his game plan is. So it's pretty clear which direction he's going to go, and you could just read his hero power and think to yourself, man, that could be busted. So I think that's why Aurora is a little less hyped, because they need more cards for the Lightning.
We need more context.
Yep.
I can see that.
It's not fleshed out enough. But I actually think Aurora is going to be the best in the long term. I just don't think that they're going to make her busted off the rip, because I feel like she has a way of getting away. Creating an embodiment of lightning gives an attack that doesn't have go again. She does a lot of things at instant speed. It can get a little silly. So
I mean, go again on a stick is kind of scary.
Right.
There has been precedent for that being completely overpowered in the past.
Well, I mean, they gave it to New on her boots. I guess that's once per game, though.
Yeah, it's a once per game. I mean, that's effectively like Snapdragon scalers. but it costs you a resource.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Sure.
This is more in line with Briar's text and sort of Chain, but Chain was just so much better. It's not even funny. But yeah, just Go Again on a Stick is they had to find a way to balance it. So
It'll
we'll
flesh
see what
out.
happens with it.
She'll definitely flesh out. I think she'll be weak at the beginning, hopefully, unless they just, I mean, I could say that about Zen, and then all of a sudden he shot through the roof. So
they clearly said they don't want Aurora to be Cheerios because she's going to need she's going to need to be able to pitch to activate her hero power.
Well,
yeah,
we'll have to see how she fleshes out. But this set looks great. By the way, the pack art too, the box art looks amazing. Man, I don't know, something about that green box, dude, just got me so excited to buy. I can hardly wait.
How's all your Aria stuff? Did you actually manage to get that wall of Everfest and Aria started?
So I've got cases of Everfest, and I bought some Aria. I actually saw the price went through the roof on Aria. It went up to $323 a case now from $190.
Oh wow!
It was at $190 for first ed.
Dude, people are so wild.
So Aria did go up. You could probably still find it. It'll go back down.
People love the elemental heroes.
But
I mean, even if it is just half of them.
But everyone knows the heroes are going to come back. Why just that people
well, look, what did I tell
out?
you guys? I told you guys to just buy some Aria.
Okay.
Not for me.
Let's get into Nats.
Nats it up.
Let's do it.
So
take us away.
It's a special kind of anniversary. We're not quite to a year of podcasting yet, but our first podcast was covering what we did at Las Vegas. So
US Nats from last year.
That's really cool.
So yay! So, happy anniversary, guys.
From Vegas to Minneapolis. So yeah, I participated in Nats. I won a qualifier on Levia here at a local RTN, and I went on Riptide. Crushed it day one. Went X-1. I 3-0'd my draft. Felt pretty good. Sat down to draft on day 2. Was feeling good about it until about I guess maybe in pack 2, I was like, uh-oh. My pack 1 was really good because I was drafting Enigma and I was getting all the Enigma gas. And I was like, okay, I know based on my earlier passes, I've probably created an Enigma maybe to my left or one person to my left. And I was passing to, I can't remember the gentleman to my immediately left's name, but the third person past that was Roger Bodie. So I was in pod with Roger Bodie. And I was like, okay, I'm guessing I put Roger Bodie on Enigma. I don't think it's going to be the person to my immediate left. And it's because I've passed a couple Vengeful Apparitions, or not Vengeful Apparitions. The one that gives if you've pitched a blue, it makes a spectral shield when it dies. And I'm like, those aren't, in my opinion, those aren't really good signals that Enigma is open. And I took a whole bunch of red spectral manifestations to the point that both the Enigmas in the pod were like, where were all the red spectral manifestations? Me, I got 3 in my first 4 picks. So I felt pretty good about my deck. Until I realized at about midway through pack 2 that I'm like, I think I know the entire table already. And from myself, I was thinking it is me as Enigma. To my left is an Enigma. To Roger Bodie is Enigma. And then it's Zen, new. And I was exactly correct. And the bad thing about this means that I am playing against one of the 2 of Zen's round 1. I'm like, this is not good. And we get to pack 3. I'm still feeling okay. And on the third to last pick, I get a red Untamed. And I said, oh my God, the Zens have so many leg taps that they literally passed a red Untamed because their deck is finished. I am so boned. I am just dead. I'm like, we're not at day 2 sitting in the X1 table because these people don't know how to draft at all. Because if they didn't know how to draft at all, they wouldn't be at the X1 table at day 2. I'm like, crap. These Zen decks are going to be cracked. Because I'm like, there's got to be only 2 Zens, and I'm pretty sure that the 2 people to my left are Enigma, and the 2-ish people to my right are new. So it's 2 or 3 Zens. And man, boy, did I get completely flattened in the first game. just ran over. Never even established a board. And then I played against a new that beat the Enigma to my left, and they had their turn cycle was turn one. I went first. Turn one, picked pieces. Their second turn, pick the pieces. Their third turn, a triple pump, double trouble. Their fourth turn, pick the pieces. Their fifth turn, a double pump, double trouble. And I'm like, I'm dead. And so I'm feeling pretty bad, right? I went from 3-0 to I even said after my first, I think I said before my first game, I think that I'm possibly going 0-3, not because my deck is bad, because of how the pod arranged. And I ended up 0-2, sitting down my game, and I'm thinking, oh crap, I'm playing against Enigma in the mirror, guaranteed. It's not going to be a new. And it was the Enigma to my left and the person who beat the new. I'm like, that means their deck might be better than mine. However, I knew my deck is actually really good in the mirror. I sat down, controlled the whole game, completely destroyed my opponent. Just because my deck was better to beat the mirror. And yeah, so I went 1-2. So I'm already X in 3 leaving draft. And then I make a small play error where I waste a Death Dealer activation against a Levia, and then she proceeds to double Blood Rush Bellow me and hit me for 7-7-11, then still have 2 resources left over to pay for a Blood Rot Pox token, and I'm just dead.
God.
Yeah. I get them down to 14. I couldn't quite push them past. It didn't really matter because they didn't even bother trying to flip. They just killed me. And then after that, I pick up a game, and then after that, I run into Alex 4. Alex 4 is a very good Kano player. I'm like, okay, well, I even say you're probably my executioner, man. You're the one who's taken me out of like top 16. Because I'm pretty sure at this point I can't get top 8. I think I can't get top 8 with X4. So I'm like, you're gonna push me to X5, and that's gonna be it. And so I sit down, I play Alex 4, and let's just say everything that could line up did. I was pounding him. I got to do a triple arrow rain razor, a double arrow rain razor. I was going in, putting pressure on him. And we finally get to the end of the game, and I gut check him. I hit him with a big Bolton shot. And when I say big, it was for like 7, right? No, it was for 10. Bolton shot for 10.
That's even bigger.
And he's at 4 life. And he has to come down to a decision immediately. Do I go for it? And he's like looking at it, he's like, oh man, I don't know what the right play is. And he's doing the hand shuffle and stuff. And I was trying to keep a poker face because I have 2 cards in hand, none in arsenal, and he's got to think, oh, does he have a way to pump an arrow and shoot one more arrow at me, right? I had E-Strike. So he's at 4, right? If he blocked out 10, there's no way he's blocking out the additional 7. He's dead. If he decides to block a single card, I'm like, come on, please block, please block, please block, please block. And he's like, no, we're going to go for it. I'm like, damn. And he's like, okay, I got to get a blue. He gets the blue, and he only needed to get like 1 blue out of a 2-card draw. He gets it, and he blows me up. It wasn't even that bad. I wasn't like super negative. He like killed me by like maybe 4 points or so, maybe somewhere around. It was less than 10 points. So, but he kills me. But I had him. This was supposed to be my cursed matchup, right? I had him. If he decided that nope, this is not the turn, then he was just dead. My buddy Damien, who also taught me to play the deck, pointed out that I probably should have single pumped and sent the Bolton shot just to kind of like incentivize him to block 1 card. Because if he'd blocked with 1 card at all, even though I couldn't put that pump on the next arrow, I could have still thrown the E-Strike and maybe still killed him. Or I think I just had a couple different play lines I could have gone. I could have applied more pressure or something. But anyway, almost beat him. That was fine. And then my last game, I sat down across from my opponent, and it was a victor. I'm like, finally got to hit the victor. This is like the supposedly cursed matchup. I don't have that experience being cursed. It's just really tight. And I say, I think we're on the edge of money. Do you want a prize split? And he says no. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And we play our game. And it's going long, as it does, because he wanted to aggro me. He's running yellow Zealous Belting in his deck, by the way. Yeah.
Ow.
So he wanted to aggro me, but I got ahead on him. And I was pummeling him. And I had the setup I was looking for. I ended up pitching my my Remembrance to end in my deck specifically because I wanted to play all 3 of my Lace with Blood Rots. And then so I played them, play the Remembrance, get all the 3 Lace with Blood Rots back, break my quiver, get a couple of my big boy arrows back, and then finish out the game by just hitting one more break point. I set that up, I do it. He throws a Miller's Hammer at me. I block it for 3. He hits me for 1. He flips a card and he hits my like a Lace with Blood Rot. I'm like, I just needed to keep all 3 of them, and I had it. It gets to the end of the game, and I'm not really keeping track of time. I'm playing as fast as I can, but the judge is already sitting there, right? So you know it's coming close, and I'm doing my arrow, and I'm like, okay, I'm almost there. By the way, I think I have him fatigued. I think he has like 1, maybe 2 cards left in deck. I almost have him on the edge. I just have to like hit him with an arrow and keep an endless arrow, and then I can just throw endless arrow at him until he dies. He's down to 1, and I'm throwing my attack, and the judge calls time. He has a Blood Rot Pox token. He's at 1. I bring him down to 1 card in hand, and judge calls time. And then he's like, okay, my turn. Pitch to Blood Rot, pass. Yep, that's it. That's the story. That's the story of how 2 people who could have gotten $250, none of them got any money. Yay, draws are double losses. Woo!
Wow.
I mean, I'm not going to say...
You would think that somebody at Nationals on day 2 would know how Flesh and Blood, how bad a draw sucks in Flesh and Blood.
I think if I were in the reverse position, I would have thrown my hammer and let my opponent have the choice to take it in the face and be the loser, or block and let him be the loser, and just let it go from there, just to let someone win $250, right? But I guess, to be fair, someone else did win the $250, right? So someone else got the 64th spot. I would have been somewhere in top 64 had I won that game, but it's whatever. I offered the prize split. He didn't take it. That's just how it is. It was his prerogative. It's fine. I think he thought it was a favored matchup. I showed him that it is not. It is very tight and a very difficult matchup. And when you have some cards that are suboptimal into the matchup, as other victors don't, like Yellow Zealous Belting, it can be really spooky. That was my Nats. I also participate in the Battle Harden. Oh, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to ask, why Riptide? I mean, why didn't you play Zen? I mean, I know you have enjoyed playing Katsu, and you're a ninja enjoyer.
I didn't want to go through the effort.
Tell us.
I didn't want to go through the efforts trying to assemble the deck last minute. I wasn't really confident on a list because I wasn't really in the know with some of the people doing list building. I knew of the list, kind of, that won Nats and like the Tessin lists and stuff. I knew a lot about those, but I wasn't sure about what the full list would look like. And then I played Riptide and I actually enjoy him a lot. The interaction with Trench of Sucking Treasure, New Horizons, and Dreadbore, all those pieces of equipment are really fun. He has a lot of really fun play lines. I thought he absolutely slaps Enigma around. Like, just whack, 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 whack. Like, he just beats Enigma up. New is...
And New.
Yep, he beats New up quite a bit. He can beat Zen. I beat both Azaleas that I faced. So I figured out how to beat Azalea. Hint, it's play really smart and pivot on Buzzsaw Trap. Yeah, I blew a game out with Buzzsaw Trap.
Buzzsaw Trap is real.
Yeah, and this is Battle Hardened, so when I talk about Battle Hardened briefly. But I thought he was actually a pretty good pick for the meta. So I was fine. Kano was my only matchup that I sit down across and be like, this is basically a 0% chance to win. And I played Alex 4 twice because I ran into him in the Battle Hardened too, and almost beat him twice. So I guess either I was drawing hot, but both times, if he didn't happen to have the hand to kill me, like if he just kind of just drew a handful of reds, he was just dead. So I had him on the last turn both times. And Alex 4, awesome player to play against. If I'm going to sit down across from a Kano in almost a 0% win matchup, I want it to be Alex again. He was great. He was so much fun to play against.
Julian is also good to sit down across from if you're going to play against a Kano.
And Bryce.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Bryce too. So I played the Battle Hardened as well because I felt pretty good about the deck. And I had to drop pretty early. I got 5 games in, but there were so many players registered that X2 was already dead. If you Damien, who played, X2'd on game 8 of 9, and he didn't make top 8. If that tells you anything, he lost round 3 in round 8 and didn't make top 8. He got 12th. That's how many players there were.
Wow.
Yes. So I ran into Alex Vore again, round 3, and I was like, I saw it in the gym. I see it. He sees me. I'm like, no, not again. And so sit down, play it, and had actually even more fun that game than I had the first game because just Alex is just such a pleasant opponent. Had a great time. Probably was one of the most fun games of Flesh and Blood I played besides Team Sealed. And then moved on and won the next game. This was against an Azalea, I believe. No, that was a Vincent. Azalea was the previous match. I have to talk about the Azalea really quick because, man, does Buzzsaw Trap help with that matchup. He kept his full hand, took a bunch of damage, came back at me, did pump, Memorial Ground, get red in the ledger, flip it, shoot it. I'm like, gear, Buzzsaw Trap. And he goes, oh. Block out this giant red in ledger with one piece of equipment and one trap, and then I think I sent back 16 after that. And so if you think about the value of the Buzzsaw Trap, I think that was a 5-card hand that resulted in almost 30 points of value. Just because of how how much Buzzsaw Trap blocked for. And it pinged him for 1. And then 4th round played against Vincent, and that Vincent almost kicked my butt. It came down to literally he played Shadow Puppetry and killed himself. Because Shadow Puppetry says your attack has +1 and gets go again, which is a problematic thing to do to your attacks against Riptide when you're at 2.
Yeah.
I double inertia trapped him. I was at 2 as well. It was a close game. And then I sat down across from a Max. And turn 0, he arsenal a card. Turn 2, he pitched a Mechanoid, and I said, crap. When you pitch a Mechanoid on your second turn and you have an arsenal that you put on turn 0, that's a really strong hint of what's coming. Yep, I didn't get the Seek and Destroy effect on him in time or anything, and he got the Mechanoid out on like turn 3. I brought him down pretty low, but it's just you can't get there as Riptide if the Mechanoid comes out turn 3 or 4. Like you have to get he has to go for it, right? He has to do the high octane and go in for it, and you double frailty trap him. That's like the only way. And then if he says, oh, I double high octane, I'm gonna go for it, then you win. Because he's only swinging for like 4 multiple times instead of 6. But nah, that gave me my second loss after the Kano, and I just went ahead and dropped because I went and played in Team Sealed. That was the most fun I had that weekend. They give you a box, and you make 3 decks, no restrictions on heroes. So you could do like Punch Nigma, is what they were calling it, and normal Enigma. Punch Nigma is where you just run some of the best auras, and then you just run all the mystic cards that hit really hard, and then you transcend and hit them really hard, and then make a couple spectral shields for value. It's a really funny deck and really effective. I just made a standard Enigma, and it's really funny because you have this like little deck of 30 cards, and then your sideboard is like that thick because you have a whole box. You make 3 30 card decks with a whole booster box. It's wild. Your decks are so powerful. You're actually like, I can't put in all these 1-for-4s as Zen. You're like, I have to put in some of these crappy cards because I just need blues in my deck. So we actually we went 9-3. We only dropped one round, and of the round we dropped was against Roger Bodie, Fino, and Michael Hamilton, and they their decks were insane, and they absolutely destroyed us. All 3 games were total blowouts. It's only 3 games we lost, and they blew us to pieces. Fino had like a spectral shield. I mirror matched into Fino. He had a spectral shield that had like 11 counters on it.
What?
Yeah. Every turn he made this motion. He just punch.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Hammer for 12. And then Michael Hamilton played a Punch Nigma deck and played into my buddy Jeff, who was on Zen, and he was dead in like 3 turns.
Wow.
And then it was a new mirror versus Roger Bodie and my buddy Eric, and I think that one was a little closer, but Roger finished him off with it was either a triple or quadruple pump double trouble. Yeah, that's how those games went. Anyway, that was my Nats.
Wow.
Other than being in Minneapolis, which a wonderful city, I played a lot of Flesh and Blood. It was super fun, and we can now spend maybe a few minutes talking about like what the actual tournament was. And I'm going to pass that off to you because I was playing the entire weekend.
Yeah, tell us how right we were, Donnie, because I think we were pretty spot on the meta.
Yes.
Yeah, me and Thomas were talking like right before we started recording about the predictions we made. Well, y'all made last week because I wasn't here, and the top 5 heroes that I'm going to keep saying we because I'm part of the podcast even if I'm not here.
You are. Andrew
Zen,
did a great
Azalea,
job.
Yeah. Shout out to Andrew. Thank you for coming on and filling in, man. That was
Thank
was
you.
really cool.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Andrew.
the expertise. Yeah, local in-boss Andrew Lorenz. The max respect tier that we put together last week was Zen, Azalea, Kano, KO, and New. The top 5 heroes from U.S. Nationals were Zen, Azalea, Enigma, KO, and New.
Enigma was like on our top of respect as well. Like I think we were
Yes.
really close. And if you look at the other most represented heroes right below that, the only one we're off on that second row is Azuri.
If
thought we were
we
pretty good.
had switched Kano and Enigma, it would have been spot on. It would have been dang near
Well,
exactly right.
We did talk about that. You
I got
needed
my
to
pulse
respect.
on the meta, guys.
Yeah.
I'm a
No,
giant
we-
Discord troll. I'm everywhere.
I thought we did a really
Is
good
that
job.
what we call it?
We did some
Yeah,
good.
definitely a good job. Let's see here. The top 8, just kind of blowing through this real quick because I know we got other things we
take your
got to
time.
take care of this evening. The top 8 was Enigma, Zen, Azalea, KO, Enigma, Zen, Prism. 3 Zens, 2 Enigmas. Azalea, shout out to
We love you,
great-
Willie.
great human being,
We love you.
generally good guy. Willie B, congratulations on the top 8, man. You killed it. I'm sorry for sending you my energy. I killed you in the top 8. My bad.
I had chances to chat with a lot of the people who were in top 8, and all of them are great people. Evan Herndon, who was our new U.S. Nationals champion, is a great
Congratulations
person.
to him as well.
He's helped me with Dash.io a few times, and he is an incredible deck builder. And it's really funny. There's an anecdote from him where I think they get a little ways into day 2. I think he 3-0'd his second draft or 2-1'd it. And after that, he's like, I haven't seen anyone else with Zephyr Needle in their deck. I win Nats. He's just like, I have the best deck. There's no other Zens. I'll beat all the Zens. And I think it's the best deck in the format. So it's going to beat all the other heroes too. And it did. It definitely beat everybody because he's U.S. Nationals champion. And most of his games were pretty convincing. He's a great player, great deck builder. The deck is I think it's pretty simple other than some of the things like Zephyr Needle, right? It looks
Zephyr Needle's good.
It was really funny because everybody in the chat was dogging on the Zephyr Needles, including Brian Gottlieb, who was saying that playing the Zephyr Needle into KO in the finals was a mistake. And at the end, when they interviewed Evan Herndon and they told him, people were dogging on the Zephyr Needles, he basically told everybody in the world, "Get good. I was right. I won."
and when we all saw the Zephyr Needle, we laughed at first and we're like, that almost guarantees someone's going to block a card because the value buildup of Zephyr Needle is crazy if you don't block it. So when he starts swinging them, if you have to spend a card eventually. The later you wait to spend a card, the more damage you took before finally giving up the card. But you did give up that card eventually.
Brilliant. Yep. That card is a brilliant piece of tech. Absolutely spot on. Well done.
You know who else agrees to that? The fact that Zephyr Needle's $70 right now for a cold foil.
What?
Yeah. One just sold for $60 now.
Congrats to Andrew Rothermel on KO for being a finalist. Oh, yeah. He was also our beloved Willie B's executioner. Willie had a great game against him, and the line I was going to tell you about was right at the very end where he blocked with that extra card to not go to 1, to stay at 3. There was a reckless swing in the pitch zone, and he knew there was one reckless swing left in the deck. And then the very next turn cycle, he ended up having to go to 1 anyway. If he would have kept that extra card, he could have pumped one more time and got an extra card out of the KO. Yes, he goes to 1, but there's that classic thing of, are you playing to win? And he's like, okay, I probably should have gone for the line where I go to 1. I should have just disrespected the reckless swing and try to finish the game out before it gets to that point. It was a close game though. It was great. I got to watch most of it from the pit.
Yep. I don't know. Do we want to talk about the game from round 13 where Willie B was on camera before and all the issues that were going on with that? Are you aware of that one?
I heard about it.
Since you didn't watch it?
Is this the one where they messed up the life totals and yeah.
Messed up the life totals, swung and manifested an aura under Warmonger's diplomacy on the same turn, and ignored the IP2 that they got as a result of that. Should have died to blood debt, chose not to, and continued to, and went on to win the game. Now, in his opponent's defense, when he went back and thought about everything, and the judge, asked them both about it, the opponent, Nathan, went ahead and requested that the win be reversed and Willie B get that win. So shout out to him. I mean, nerves are high at that level. You're getting so close to the top 8. A lot of mistakes are bound to happen. It's just unfortunate when they're that public.
Yeah.
I mean,
but we've seen really high profile players.
It was a mess of a game, but yeah.
We've seen really high profile players make mistakes on stream before. As long as they're humble and they say, okay, I'm willing to accept the repercussions for the game rules violation and move on with it. It happens. And I'm sure it happens in normal games all the time. They're just not recorded.
Yeah, for sure.
Playing to the rules is one of the difficult portions of Flesh and Blood because it is such a technical game. It'd be very, 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 very difficult.
Yeah, mistakes were made. He owned up to making mistakes, and everything came out in the wash because it didn't even really matter because both players from that game ended up winning in round 14, so they were both locked for top 8 regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a matter of seeding about who was going to end up higher because of that round 13 loss. So, oops.
It happens.
It happens. I mean, playing on camera is very nerve-wracking. It really is. Even if you know what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. It's at that level, at that stage.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I didn't follow the calling very closely. Who won the calling? Donnie.
Oh, crud. I forgot to look that up. I think it was either Azalea or Kano, and the other hero won the Battle Hardened.
Kano won the Battle Hardened because that was Bryce Morgan on Kano.
I think it was Azalea that won the calling.
Cool. Seems like then things are as they should be. I think Zen is going to get an adjustment, but it's clear that there are heroes that are still competing and or better than Zen in some cases. Because Azalea can beat Zen, Kano can beat Zen, Nu can beat Zen,
Nu beats the
Prism
crud out of Zen.
Can beat the crud out of Zen. It's just like I won't say the meta is necessarily super healthy because there is a lot of 90-10s going around, and I think the game is maybe a turn or two faster than, in my opinion, it should be. I like games to go around turn 8 at minimum. And I think right now games are typically ending at like turn 6-ish a lot of times.
Ooh. Okay. The Calling had 3 Kanos, one of which was Julian Sniffen, former
Julian.
guest of the podcast. Yeah, great guy. Looks like 1 Enigma, 1 Dash, 1 Prism, 1 Zen, and Azalea. And the Azalea is the deck that won. William Pistol took that down. Getting to the Battle Hardened. Shout out to whoever does these live blogs. This is a fantastic thing. Fantastic resource. Thank you very much for that. LSS, keep up the great work. The Battle Hardened was kind of crazy. 5 Zens, 1 Enigma, 1 Prism, 1 Kano.
There were a lot
And
of
like
Zens.
you said, Bryce Morgan took that down on Kano through all those Zens. That's impressive.
I DM'd Bryce about his win, congratulating him stuff. And he was like, dude, I had to play 5 Zens in a row.
Wow.
His last 5 games were all Zen. He said he just blasted all of them. That's how he won. He just blasted all 5 of them.
That's what you got to do. I mean, it's a race, right?
Get that Danny DeVito meme out.
So I started blasting, and you got Kindle in one hand, and you got Cindering Foresight in the other. Like, yep. I'm going to find my combo cards, and they're going to have lots of damage attached to them.
Okay, here's something that I read about in the live blog that I think is actually really freaking cool. The Welcome to Wraith Alpha Draft. One of the players cracked a cold foil
Yes,
tunic.
they did.
No way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And one of the other players cracked a cold foil Snapdragon Scalers.
Oh my god. That's good stuff.
There was... Where were you at when you heard that? Because I'm sure you heard the scream from all the way across the venue.
I probably did. There were a lot of them going down because, like, you got people opening their gold foils and stuff. So, like, Aaron Grace, the Enigma top 8 finalist, he opened up the new Illusionist foot piece.
Wow, wait, gold foil?
Yeah, gold foil.
Oh my lord.
I know, it's a hot rip.
Okay.
Wow.
So, it really cool.
Hold on to that one. That's a remarkable piece.
Yeah. So that's definitely an upgrade from like the Pro Tour Alpha Draft. If I recall, I think the best thing out of that was an E-Strike, a foil E-Strike.
Ow, that's
definitely an upgrade.
That's good.
A little bit of upgrade, right? Cold foil tunic
doesn't get much better than that. It really doesn't. Not out of a set like cold foil heart, but
yeah,
I don't think it gets better than cold foil tunic. Does it?
No.
Like out of a
I think
pack?
cold foil tunic is more. Is cold foil tunic more than cold foil heart? It might be. I can't recall.
The EA tunic one is.
That's the RTN one.
This is not. It was not an EA.
No.
I mean, I'm looking at the picture right now, and the
No. I'm just saying. I think cold foil tunic, the EA might be worth more than
But yeah.
But
than Heart
definitely
of Final.
Congratulations to that player for that fantastic grip. It almost feels like she won Nats. I mean, that's that's a heck of a rip.
Yeah. The person who got the cold foil tunic, they're the Nats champion by like.
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
Actually,
Sorry,
no. Evan's still the Nats champion because like that prize payout's pretty good.
It is.
Yeah, 10K.
Oh, hey,
10K
shout
for US
out
Nets.
to Andrew Lorenz, by the way, because he got top 16.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations, Andrew.
Dude,
we knew you could do it.
It was so endearing too. When he learned he got top 16, he like jumped up and down like he just got announced for top 8. Like you couldn't tell any difference. He was so pumped.
I love
it. Was
Andrew.
really cool.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's good peeps.
He was a roomie. I had a great time with him and the entire crew. Yeah, and our little Georgia team that went, we did pretty okay. Shout out to
Chris
Andrew Cook, who got top 8.
Yeah, Andrew Cook as well.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of our Georgia locals doing great.
Yep.
Beware of the Atlanta
Yeah,
scene.
The Atlanta scene's rough, guys.
X1 going day 1. I just need to, shine my game up just a little bit more.
I don't think it was so much your game. I mean, like the way you described it, that pod kind of ended
The
your
pod
run.
was a little cursed, but I think I still probably made the right decision being the third Enigma. I don't necessarily think that was a bad decision, but I could have maybe tried to go for Zen, or I could have maybe did the thing where you draft a bunch of Mystic cards, because I knew of the strat. I talked about it with someone. I knew of the strat of just drafting a ton of Mystic cards and staying completely open, and then relying on your Mystic cards to do a lot of the heavy punching and just pick up a couple critical cards in either New or Enigma. However, like, I still faced the 2 of Zen in round 1,
Right.
but maybe I would have been better into New round 2 and could have come out of the pod at 2-1. That's the difference I could have made there, I think.
Still a hell of a showing.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Still a hell of a showing, dude.
definitely. Well done, man.
Congratulations on making day 2 on that. It's not easy.
Going 6-1
Yeah, no,
on day 1
impeccable
is
record.
not easy.
Yeah, my only loss that day was to a Zen. He transcended every turn.
Wow.
Wow.
Sometimes
you
transcend.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did this strategy where you pump fake him so he doesn't use his armor. I'd throw something with go again or threatening go again with snaps, and he wouldn't give his armor because he's afraid of the sleep dart. I died with his armor still intact. He never found a way to block with it. And every time I did it, every time I just said pass and went back to a 6-card hand, because I just had an arrow face up, he'd go, oh. So I pump faked him twice, and then he just double Art of War me. He Art of War and drew an Art of War.
Well,
he's like, I drew it off the first Art of War. I'm like, all right. I mean, yeah. So other than the Kano, my 2 big losses were like high roll, double Blood Rush Bellow into 7/7/11, and then double Art of War.
That's TCGs, man.
Yeah, they're all great.
Literally
all
cannot
of my
control
opponents,
variance.
all of my opponents, even the person who turned down the price split, that game was a fantastic game. He was a great opponent. We had a great time. It's like I said, Lil feels bad that we didn't get to split and none of us got the money, but and it came down to a draw, but it didn't come down to a draw to his fault at all. And I don't have any problem with him choosing not to split either. Make sure I clarify that.
We got anything else we want to cover?
Pick up your Heart of Finals now. It's probably gonna go up.
I ain't spending money on cards. I can't. I already spent too much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need it for news, so I'm good. But yeah, listeners, if you have any interest in Verdance,
probably I'd say
probably want a Heart.
Safe bet,
probably
guys.
Gonna be good.
Oh yeah, Heart of Finals is gonna be fantastic.
Safe bet, everybody. Really pick it up. It goes back up.
Wait, is it though?
Yes.
It's an instance
is it
of
gonna
life
be good?
game.
Because if she's gonna have higher life total, I mean, if she's gaining life,
she probably started lower life
think,
total.
like I said, I would be surprised if she starts at a much lower life total.
And you're gonna jockey your life up and down. It's good. It's good. It's good both ways. There's probably a fatigue flooring with how many embodiment of Earths, right? We'll figure that out.
I wouldn't even think it's that.
We'll
I'm thinking, like you said, she gains a life, she does a ping, right? So it's
Right.
a blue pitch that says gain a life, deal 1 damage. It's gonna be amazing. If that's the correct guess.
I think it's a safe time to pick one up. Don't go crazy. Just pick one up. Have one. They're low.
Take us out here, Donnie.
All right, is that it? We good? Well, real quick, shout outs. Noah, where can everybody find you, buddy?
Twitch.tv/BigMax and on Twitter at BigMaxFab. And streaming soon. You'll see. There'll be a lot of product. It might be a couple.
Eventually. We keep talking about streaming.
No.
Coming
Trust
soon.
me, you'll see it.
We've been talking about streaming coming soon since episode 1, and we're 41 episodes in.
I'll start streaming when I start streaming.
There.
Same.
That's it. No, I'm definitely gonna open up stuff. We'll have it. You'll see.
All right. What about you,
At Wet the
Thomas?
System Fab. That's where you can find me on Twitter. I'm Wet the System on Discord. Come find me if you want to talk about any of the decks I work on, like Riptide, Dash.io, Leviathan, and so on. I love talking about them.
Yep. If you want to talk about New, look me up on the Cult of New Discord as Draco Hominis 87. In there, I'm known as the Ambassador of New. Everywhere else, I'm Donnie K, fabric.gg. Write several different article series. The next one should be coming out on Friday, covering everything that happened at US Nats, and I'm gonna, do the highlights and stuff like I usually do. If you like reading articles, definitely check me out. I think I do a pretty good job. But thanks for joining us, everybody. We hope you enjoyed catching up with us this week, and if you did, subscribe or follow depending on where you found us to catch us again next time. Until then, take care of yourselves, and remember, we are all siblings in cardboard.
And remember to discard your cards. It's never out of meta, no matter how stale it gets.
And good luck on Nats for
That's
people
coming
who
up
have
again.
Nats this weekend.
Good luck.
Good luck, everybody.
Chi-Chi.